Workflows are an integral part of Phoenix WinNonlin. A workflow template allows you to reuse workflows in multiple projects. In this demo, you will see how to create and use workflow templates in your Phoenix projects. We have created a workflow to calculate renal clearance using NCA of plasma and urine data. Let's create a workflow template that will allow us to reuse this workflow in additional projects. You will want to have data links in your project to make it easier to connect the new dataset to the proper inputs. To add data links, right-click in the background of the workflow diagram, and then select Connect External Sources to Data Links. Notice the new data links in yellow boxes. The rest of the workflow has turned pink, and the names in the object browser have turned red. Both of these indicate the workflow needs to be re-executed. Before we execute it, though, let's rearrange the diagram to make it easier to follow the arrows. We need to make sure that the entire workflow can be executed without errors. To do this, press the Execute button while viewing the workflow diagram. Let's go back and look at the workflow diagram. Now that we have added the data links and we have verified that the workflow operates without errors, we are ready to create our template. To create a template, right-click on the workflow in the object browser and then select Export. Then specify the file type, which will be Phoenix Template. Let's give it a descriptive file name. And now we've created our template file of the workflow. It is sometime later and we've created a new project, and we would like to use the template we created earlier. We've already imported a dataset that has the same format as the one we used to create the template, even though it contains different data. You can load templates the same way you import other files. Let's click on the Import button in the toolbar. We will select the renal clearance template we saved earlier and open it. A new sub-workflow has been inserted into the project. Let's expand the workflow in the object browser to see what was added. Here we see the workflow that was added to the project. Notice that the data links act as hubs to distribute the data to the appropriate places in the workflow, and they make it much easier to connect the new data to the workflow. All we have to do is link each dataset to the appropriate data link. The easiest way to connect the data to the data links is to use drag and drop. First, we drag the Observations worksheet onto the Observations data link. Then we will drag the Dosing worksheet onto the Dosing data link. We can also hide the details to reduce the clutter on the workflow diagram. Now that the data links are connected, we can execute the workflow. And here are the results for the entire workflow. Let's go back to the diagram. Let's take a look at the results for a couple of the workflow objects. Here is the observations plot updated with the new data. And the project also has a table. Let's take a look at it. The table format was defined in the template, including the headers, summary statistics, and the number of significant figures to be used. Now, whenever we apply this template, our preferred table type is created automatically. This concludes the demo. We hope that you now see the value of workflow templates. Perhaps you have some workflows you can create into templates to save yourself time and effort.